ep5. Dreams. Helps, tips, tricks, guides, whatever. Again, if you've got any questions and you're watching the stream, by all means, if it lets you post it, ask away. Live after me on the PlayStation Network. If you've got dreams and you get stuck, message me. Don't be afraid to ask for help. If I can give you a hand, I will give you a hand. I'm going to focus this stream on details. I done a bonus stream earlier that was pretty much like showing you how the mechanics of the game work and stuff like that, but I want to do details, extras that can make the game or make your creations just a little bit better. So we'll grab the head, and I will grab you know what, I'll grab that puppet as well. Actually, you know what, that puppet's got its own head, screw it. So what I'll do is I'll trying to think of easy ways to show you without crap load of interferences with other mechanics. Okay, so there's my latest release. It's meant to be, think like a bodysuit, sweater, shoes, head, you know, that kind of styling. It has a rough representation of my page's logo on the back. But, for example, this one here, let's go the head. Good spot to start here. The eyes. Twist them. Actually, if I so you can see that one. At 10, we'll lower it a bit. When it comes to heads and the eyes and stuff like that, a good tip is to photograph your face and use your face not as a reference but as a guide. So like your bottom eyelids don't show as much as your upper eyelids. Same with things like the placement of your ears. Grab the top of your ear, run it across the front of your thing and see where it lines up with, and place the ear in that spot. If you do that, you can't go wrong. Like if you look at the overall head sizing, it's all about right. Obviously, if you want it to be more anime styled or anything like that, the eyes and stuff like that would be lowered. If you want it to be more cartoony, the eyes would be bigger. Like obviously those eyes are bigger than what eyes in real life would be. If I was to go roughly where it would be, it'd be close to that for a real eye. And then obviously you would reshape the skull with the eye sizing here and bringing them like kind of there-ish like that, and you'd make them fit. But I'm not going to get too much into that, but what I'm going to show is how the eyes, for a good example, they look great, but if I grab singular eye, bring it out, eyelashes will make a big difference. So what I'm going to do is, because the way I've created these eyes, I can go that, and bring it out to the side, and detach it. So that there is its own sculpt. So if I zoom in once, you can see blurry, blurry, and that one's sharp. So the one that's sharp is the one we're going to use, that one there. I'm going to get rid of that there so we can have a flat surface. If you go into your paint mode and grab that one. That one also works. That one also works. But I'm just going to stick with, I'll stick with that one. We're going to choose a darker color. Surface snap. So that as you can see, it snaps the surface we're looking at. We're going to scale it down. And then we're just going to grab roughly so that it's, that could be a little bit bigger. Like that. Because I never backed out or anything like that, all those single presses are done are all of the one sculpt. So I can now use that as an eyelash. And I should recreate another one for the lower eyelash, but I'm not going to bother because you're not going to be looking that close. This is details just to make it look more of a like a completed look. And this eye can make sure it's still not attached to that. No, it's not. So that I can go. Well, we're not using that anymore. I do copy the item I'm using as a base and move it out purely so that I don't accidentally stuff with the bugger up the one I'm working from. And then you come into here, we'll go, again, I would copy it, bring it across, and because I copied it from here, we're just going to go straight into roughly where it needs to be. And then while it's in there, you want the little dot on the tip of the imp's antenna to be over the item you want to place it on, and just keep scoping in until you're onto that item, and then just align it so that it's kind of right. That's kind of right. But we're going to go up so that it's inside the thing, and we'll just do a little bit of tweaking like that. So as you can see, the eye on the right has the eyelash, and the one on the left, our right, or its left, does, and the other one doesn't. And the one on this side here obviously looks a lot better than that side there because it's got the eyelash. It's just a simple little detail. Like, you can do it with the bottom as well, but you don't have to. And if you get play, it'll blink. Ignore that falling away because it's obviously dynamic. But if I rewind, rewind it and then come into here and go to there and turn that off, that'll fix that problem. So we've got it on one eye, but we want it on both eyes. So I don't have to recreate the entire thing again. Just come to it, scope in until I get just the thing I want to copy, grab it, move it sideways, and then click the L3 button, or click in on your left stick. It will flip it to 180. Don't push the triangle because it'll do that. Just do the flip. It'll be slightly off, but we'll do some adjusting. So we've got that. L1 and circle to zoom out, or thing, and then go straight back in again to the eyelid of the eye we want to put it on. Get it roughly right. And as you can see, like, there's a huge gap there, whereas on this one it's not as big. So we just do a little bit of manual adjusting. Twist a little bit. The blinking occasionally does in this mode is I have it, these eyes are triggered up so that right trigger actually blinks as well. Bring it down a little bit. So every time I do that, it should blink there. Okay, that looks about right. I can zoom out. If we go into the test. Oh, well, you can't even so far out. Okay. I'll zoom the camera in. As you can see with this puppet too, I've placed the chip right at its feet. So that's for anyone who wants to do the picking it up from where it is and all that. So if I come into here, we'll choose the controller chip. Go to here, it's at 1.5. This particular puppet's slightly smaller than its average puppet, so I'm going to go 1.2. Just to show you the scale difference, I'll quickly grab a standard puppet. Okay. So there you go, that's the size difference. It's kind of child size, I suppose you could say. You can just rescale it up. If you rescale it up, the 1.5 is perfectly fine scale-wise, but because it's slightly smaller, I've zoomed the camera in a little bit. Right, and as you can see, there's, if I go turn the animation, you'll see the eyelashes and all that move with the eyes. So that adds a whole lot of details. So as you can see, the eyes, like how much better does that look with just the eyelashes? Again, if you want it more noticeable, change the color to a like a gray or something, and add a bit of. I'll show you with this one here. Go to there. Change this color. Don't necessarily go white, but if your characters say got brown hair, go orange somewhere. Go there somewhere, and then come down to there and add. Don't go like that because it's gonna look weird. But add say we'll go 15 and turn off the emit, so it's not gonna emit light. That way, when you're in, for example, here, when you get a decent look at it, you'll go, oh, hang on, I can see the eyelashes, instead of being like only when it's got like bright behind it. That the way with the light on will show up in shadowy areas and in light areas. The 15% that's got in a dark, I'll quickly throw one in so you can see, in the dark zones, it's going to be glowing, so you can see it. So if I grab a sky, and we're going to turn the, actually that one could stay, the sky itself off. Just let it slightly darken down. Right. As you can see there, because the skin is bright, you can still see it, but you cannot see it if it goes into a shadow area. Right there, you cannot see it. But as you can see here, you can still see it. And because you've turned the emitting light off, it's not going to put glow around it. So if I go into it, and we'll turn that one on, and go into it. As you can, you can't really notice because it's small, but it's actually emitting a little bit of light. So anything gets close to it, it will receive light from it. It's just a little bit of extra detailing that you can see every now and then. Like you'll be moving a certain way, and the camera might move a certain angle, and you go, "Oh, there's eyelashes," and it just adds that little bit of, I wouldn't say realism, but detailing. That's like, "Ooh, that's nice." They're non-dynamic, so they'll move with the eyelid, but they don't have any physics per se. You can turn physics on in the paint mode. I prefer not to use the paint mode for physical things. So like for example, if I get, I'll make it a white one, and I will make it a line. So if I just grab like that, for example, it doesn't matter exactly what it is because it's just to show you. And you come into here and you can go to the that to add the different animations and stuff like that. And then if you go into, if you do that, it turns it down. So leave that roughly where it is, and they will be joint. Where are we at that one? That one. That will make it physical. So if I now go to play, yeah, because it's got no collision. So we have to go, gravity, will give it a, as you see it move, 5%. Oh, and I'll touch it to puppet so I can move around so you can see. So if I grab it, of course it's mainly going to be for hair, which is usually what I would use it for. Do that, do that. You can use it for skirts and stuff like that, but I don't like the way it looks. So we'll say it's for a bang. So we'll place it there, and I'll attach it by scoping into the head and place it. I'm going to leave it white so you can see it. Okay, so it's now attached to the head. So as you can see, it is physical. For hair, it works really well, especially if it's not that long, like if it's a shorter hair piece, and that will add a lot of detail to your creation. For skirts and stuff, because of the way it doesn't have the ability to have hitboxes or anything, it doesn't work as well. That's why I would prefer to use a physical, like an actual sculpt. Like if I bring it down and down here like this, we'll say your skirt's going to be about that long. Okay, and if we go in, we'll attach it to the hip, because that's where your skirt normally goes, on the hip. It doesn't have to be a skirt, it could be a loincloth, it could be anything. A cape, about that. So imagine that's a skirt, and if you want to, you can actually grab it and go clone, move it to the side, fix this alignment, copy it again, move it to the side, fix this alignment a little bit more. Now you get 3-piece. Tap X on each one, it will highlight all 3 of them. You can then grab the whole lot, move it sideways, L3 to clone, flip it, and then do a bit of alignment and place it in. As you can see now, I've got what would be like a loincloth or something. It's not exactly right, but who cares? Missing some, aren't I? In fact, I'll delete them and leave those 2. Like that. So as you can see, it is dynamic, but it has no collision, and the end pieces, it's very stretchy, if that's the word you would use. That's why I've got a tendency for a skirt. I would not do it that way. But for hair, it actually works really well, especially if you get it, for example, if I delete it, if I get the paint tool and choose, we'll say that one, again, color, I'll grab the ruler, and I won't worry about mirroring it. Okay, so I've just placed it like that. I placed it on the head just so I could see roughly how long it needs to be. I'm going to rotate it to roughly where I want it to be. And just so it's going to be bangs, you can scale it down. I'm going to add a little bit of extra. I'm going to turn the finish up so I can match its look to the hair. I'm going to add a little bit extra of that and a little bit of looseness. The looseness will make it puffier on each fleck, whereas the stretch will lengthen it that way, and that way obviously. I'm going to add that. I'm going to add a little bit of extra floppiness, and I'm only going to go 1% on the gravity. And then we can grab this. As you can see, it's flopping around. Place it into the skull and rotate it roughly where you want it. And then scale it to decently small size. Okay, when I've got it roughly where I like it, I will come into here and clone it. Now you can spend days tweaking its positioning and stuff like that, but That looks fine. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to group them up. Just remember when you group them up to go back in and redo anything that needs to be redone in here, because it can change all that. So now if I didn't attach, okay. Let me just attach that to the actual skull. I'll attach it to the hair actually. That. So as you can see, it's there. I will now I'll do it now, so you can see me doing it. I will copy it multiple times to fill out the bangs region. I'm going to turn off the precise move so I can more readily align it. So okay, so there's that, and I'll move this one a little bit more that way, and then I'll grab all 3, and then turn precise on, and clone, and then move it across and flip it, and place it in. Okay, so each and every one is now in its locations, but we're going to go in here, and as you saw, it was way too floppy. So I want to come into here and grab its floppiness. I want to just adjust it down. Yeah, just keep adjusting it until you get it roughly how you like it. This is why I don't like using the paint mode, because it is very... I don't want to call it a pain in the butt. It's just very difficult to get the exact look you're looking for. As you can see, it's a little bit better, but still very, very floppy. It's like, and that's with 1% gravity. It's like, you could spend days tweaking this until you get it just right. Which one's that? That's the end one. So you come back in here. Turn the floppiness down to say, we'll go 5%. You can't turn gravity down anymore. You can, that will add, so that even if you're not moving, it will be constantly waving. We don't want that. That button will make it so that that end attaches and that end attaches, so it's a double ender. We don't want to worry about that either because it's hair. And because we've done the lost it. That one. We can now, if we wanted to, grab this one, and we can run that to there, and it will take on its look. We're not going to worry about that just yet. I just turn down how floppy it is. Okay, it's a little bit better. Ideally, I feel like that needs to be scaled down, but lengthwise, don't like the length either. So what I'm going to do, with because it's hair, we can just go in. This is a trick where the actual paint mode is better than sculpting, because it has a special feature. If I grab it and we go into here, and then we go into where is it? Oh, there it is. There, we can go endpoint. If we grab it, you can shorten it. How dense the flecks are. Fade-ins, so that's fading at the top part. That's fading at the bottom part. So if you turn that on, you can adjust how long you want it to be. So we can make it nice and short. So we'll say about 35. And then it's just a short bang. And you could, in theory, run that in through a timer or anything like that, and it can slowly grow over time, and then make it so that when you press a button, it resets it, and make it so your characters have got dynamically growing hair. But just that little fringe there would make all the difference between the character looking like it's a sculpt or a something that's non-living, and the fact that it's living. It's not a lot, but it's enough that if you see that, even as kind of your eye or something like that, it's enough to go, oh yeah, that sells it as it's possibly a living thing. I'm going to grab all them and just go into here and go clone and make sure my precise is turned off. And I'm just going to throw that in a couple of more spots. Again, I'm not going to be too fussy because it's just to show you. Yeah. We'll see there. And each individual piece can be adjusted. So the top ones at the top, you can make longer. The way me personally would do it is if I grab that and delete them all. The way I would personally do it is I would use the base as a thing, as a guide, and go to there, go into here and go that one, and then just grab, without that one active, just use that one or that one. I'll choose we'll go grey and change the fleck to, instead of using that one, I'll use that one because it's a finer fleck, as you can see. Actually, that one. I'll just grab it, we'll zoom in, and just paint down. If I can grab it, no, wrong one. This one, let me use it. There we go. Move it out. And then just align it how I think it needs to be. Move it into where I want it. And then do the same as what I did before. Turn the finish up. Do that one. That one. I'll leave it at 50%, but I will add a one to there. I didn't touch the head. Ay. Again, it doesn't have to be to the hair, so long as it's around the right spot. See, and there you go. That's how I would personally do it. I wouldn't do the straight line. I would do use the sculpt that you want it to be attached to, and then do it like that. And I would only use the paint as like an accent to sculpts. I would not use it as like a full hairpiece. In this particular case, if I wanted to give this character bangs, excuse me, I would go into the sculpt itself and use, for example, a circle. There's the circle. Do it so it's surface snap, so it comes in front of the item I'm doing. And as you can see, it will always use the like the fleck, the density and stuff like that of the one I'm adding to. The color is different, so I can just go into here and copy the color. I would then left shoulder and square, hollow it, and either half or quarter the sculpt, so you can see how thick it is, and then just adjust this down to, that looks about right, and then lengthen that to, that looks about right, and then use that in conjunction with the blend. Again, you can use a lot, but as you can see, it ends up giving like a world look. We want more of like a blend look, so keep it under like halfway as a rule of thumb, and then just find a spot where I like the look of it, scale it to the size I want, and place. And you'd zoom in and fine adjust till you get it just how you want it. And because I want to add a lot of bangs, I would then just come in and go clone and move it to the spot I want. And if you want it to be exactly on both sides, again, just do your clone, move across, and turn that on. Go across and just tap the L3 if it's a separate sculpt, and it will do a mirror. If it's not, you should be able to grab it and just rotate it. With precise move on, it just rotates like on the axis. So if you want to flip it vertically, yeah, if you want to flip it vertically, you grab it and you go that way. If you want to flip it horizontally, you'd use the other stick and go that way. But if you want to flip it like the y-axis, look from the top and then grab it. And then just do the same with the stick, rotate it. And that will give you the rotate that way, or the other rotation, which is that way. Again, you can also, and same with the side, like you can grab it from the side, you can rotate it that way. That's how I would do the flip. Quickly grab a couple extras. So for example, if I go there, go like that, we'll move it to there. I don't want it exactly the same because whose hair is exactly the same on both sides. And I'm going to make this side bigger, so scale it up. And then move it into spot, fine adjustments. Okay, and then we'll grab a couple for the sides. I'm going to leave these big ones here and go down the sides. Yeah, that looks fine. Again, it's hair, you don't have to be too precise. Okay, so there's the bangs. That's the way I would do it. And if you want it to look like it's a little bit more wispy, I suppose you can call it, you'd then come on top of this using the paint tool and add just accents. So you'd go maybe one there, maybe a couple there, and do that and make them dynamic. That's my personal choice. But again, there's no right, there's no wrong. Same with clothing. For example, the cuffs. That's basic cuffs. But if you want to add detail to it, what you can do, if you grab, scope in once and grab the actual object and clone it and move it out. And I would normally back out so that's scoped out, and we'll take the hand. That is an exact copy of that. But if we get this one, and we'll go to that one, and add a heap of that. You don't need that much, but I'll do it anyway. And some of that. And then we want to grab the style, and choose a, because that there is the fleck that's it's using, but we're going to choose a different one so it looks like, say hairy, so we'll go like that. And we're going to change its color. We'll say white. Move it back to where it was and scope back in. Just make sure when you do it that that is set to static, non-collidable, ideally no density, and ideally ignore gravity, because we don't want that moving on its own. We don't want that to be independent. We want that to be attached to that. So now that part is hairy, but we don't want the whole arm hairy. So just jump in, find your sculpt pieces, delete the ones where you don't want the hair. If you back out, it's now got, as you can see, the little tuft of fur on the cuff. And if you only want the tuft and you don't want to see anything underneath it, just go back into the original sculpt, delete it. The under sculpt, the fluffy one, is the exact same sculpt as the over one. So you can remove whichever piece from either one, so long as you don't delete the same sculpt piece from both of them, it would still look the same as what it did prior. Like if you look at the right arm, because the arms are obviously the same, it doesn't have the cuff anymore, but the one on the left still does, but it's furry. It's using separate sculpts, but they were copies of the same sculpt, so it still looks the same. It's just that the details is now that that's a furry cuff on a more less furry base. And that's a good way to have detailing, but without detailing. Okay, I'll turn that back to how it was. This one, I'm not going to save this one up online either, so because it's showing you how you can add details. By all means, jump on, add your own details and stuff like that. Same with like shoes. If you want to do it easily, just scope into the thing, choose a different color to what the shoe already is, and for this particular case, the curve I'm using now could work, but I'm going to just switch it over to the cylinder. Go to roughly the size you want. I am going to go half, but I'm not going to hollow it out. I'm just going to take it down to about there somewhere. Bring it to the shoe. Again, you don't have to be precise at this point. Align it roughly how you want it. Scale it to roughly right. Place it. Then get a nice little angle and come in and then just fine adjust. And because it's going to be a shoelace, let's move it in. And we are going to copy it. And we'll go one to there. Move that down that way a little bit more. And move that to there. And to add the lacy look, grab it, twist it, place it so it's aligned, but while it's there, different elevation. It will add the, as you can see, like the lacy look, like someone's got a lace there. So they're roughly the same spot, but rotate it the other way. And then back out. It's now got laces. So just in this lot alone, I've added lashes, a fringe, and laces. And the difference it's made, if I grab, oops, I'm in, not in edit mode, okay. Grab there, or grab the one this is a copy of, and place it in. There's the before, and there's the after. So just looking at it through the, yes? What'd you go up for? Oh, whatever. Just looking at the differences between the before and after, you can see like the details make such a difference to your creations. There we go. Before and after. Another good method of adding extra detail without adding detail is, for example, the jumper or the top. Select the top parts, go into it using L1, and as you can see on the bottom there, goes like deselect, connect, that's the stuff. Oh, it doesn't say it there. It's L1 and square to open up this, and because all 5 of those are selected, editing this will edit all 5 of them. Adding glow will make it glow. If you want that to look way different than what this looks, you can adjust these to make it look fluffier, woollier, but ideally what we want to do is come into this one. We're going to adjust like waxiness. We're going to turn the waxiness all the way down, and turn shininess all the way down. It looks more like gel. If you turn waxiness all the way to the middle, to the top, it'll look more like it's a metal top. If you go to that way, that would look more like what you would call that, felt. So just adjust that, and do not adjust the other piece, and it will stand out because it is. If I do, we'll do that, and then go in. I haven't changed its color, just its material. So that looks more like a plastic, whereas that looks more like a felt. But yeah, it's the same top. I haven't changed, I haven't resculpted it or anything. I've just changed the material, like how much reflection and stuff it's got. That's a good way to add detail without actually adding detail. It works the same with, for example, the eyes. my rule of thumb with eyes, one more. Add a couple of, don't go there. 4, 5% maybe to the irises. Don't necessarily do the pupils unless it's a styling choice. So that when you're looking at it, the eyes just pop that little bit extra. Again, same with what I was saying about the eyelashes. In the dark areas, like if it's pitch black, I'll add that thing again, the sky. If it's pitch black, I'll even make the reflective lights down. As you can see here, it's pitch black. You cannot see the puppets, but they are still there. But if you come in, that's the eyelash when it was lit. There's the eyes while they're lit. It's enough to see the eyes there, but it's not, oh my god, it's a demon. It's like that meme with that dark skinned guy in the dark screen. And he goes, yeah, it's kind of that. And it's perfectly fine because when it's in the light, it doesn't matter what lightness it's in, you hardly notice the difference, but it's enough difference to give it that little bit of pop, to make your creation look more living, I suppose you can call it. Actually, I'm going to delete that and delete that. So that's just the, as you can see, look at the differences. That is the base puppet I made. That's with what, 40 minutes of a couple of little tweaks, adding details. It's made all the difference. And the same with, like I was talking about with keyframes on the bonus stream I done earlier. I'm going to quickly run through one like that in a second. That can add extra more details. So if you go to the puppet you're going to edit, we're going to open him up. We're going to open up that, which should have the hand animations and the skybox and everything like that. This puppet has a pose mode. So if you want to do like a screenshot, you can. What I'm going to do is I want to come into poses. And I'm going to run a and. Actually, no, we don't need to do and. We can just do one there and one there. And we're going to open this one up. I'm not going to go into details what this does. It's pretty much a outputter for what the character is doing. So if we come into here, for example, left heel strike, right heel strike. Those are the two going to be running off here. So when the left heel, which is that part of the body there, hits the ground, that will put out an output. And when the other one hits, it will put out the output from there. When either hit, or when the foot touches the ground, it will put out a signal there. But we're going to use those two. So I'm going to go up to here, I'm going to go left to there, and right to there. Now we don't want them to be activating at any point. We want it to be only when the character is moving a certain thing. So we're going to grab a calculator and we're going to tell it to be when it's greater than. Now I should test this, but a puppet moving at full speed is a 1.0. So a half speed would be a 0.5. So I'm going to set that at about 0.25. So 0.25. I should check by making the character move with a thing I showed in one of the previous streams, so I'm not going to bother. But 0.25. So when the input here is stronger than a 0.25, it will put out the signal. So we're going to run that from, where is it? Double jump. Next one across. Not lane speed. Where is it? I've lost it. Double jump. Jumped. Oh, there it is there. Movement strength. We're going to run that into there. You could put it in walking strength, you could put it in running strength, but we're just going to put it in strength in general because we want it to be active for a walk and a run, because a puppet has a walk motion, as you can see, like idle, and there's the running, and then the walk is in between. So when the movement speed is faster than quarter speed, we want it to then activate that and activate that. Right? So only when the puppet is moving faster than quarter speed will these then activate. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab a keyframe. I'll plonk it right there for now. And we're going to add hip sway. So we're going to grab the puppet, move it down, very minute. And then with the precise turned on, so you can remember the degrees you go by, twist. So I want to go 10. And to make it look even, go up to here and go 5 and 5. I'm not going to worry about the actual bumping into each other there. So that's 1, but we want it to be the same for the other. So we're going to copy it, and this is where we took note. And then we're going to L1 and X, come back in. Now it was 10, so we're going to go back the other way, 20, to flip it to the other side. So if we go like that and go 20, and they were 5, so we go 10. Again, you don't have to be precise. You can just totally ignore those numbers and just do whatever you feel looks right. Okay, so there's a left and a right. So if we go, that's the difference, ever so slightly. And we're going to run these into there. And because we want it to be fluid, we're going to select them both and just add, come on, 0.1 of a second on each one. You don't have to do that, you can leave it thinking, but we don't want it to be snappy. We want it to be a blend. And then we're going to test it. See, I can see the slight movement. It's still way too much for my liking. So we're going to go back in and select them both again. And adjust this. We want ideally we want the up to be slightly faster than the down, or the down slightly faster than the up, depending on what kind of motion. So we're going to go 0.4, and we'll go 0.3 for that one. One second. It's a little bit smoother. Excuse me. The higher you make this delay, you don't have to do the up and down. You can just do the up. So if we go the power up, and we'll set it to 2 seconds. Now each step is happening way quicker than the 2 seconds. So it'll only impact and play part of the animation, which is what we want. So if we now go like that, see how much better it looks? And if you look, when that one walks, obviously it looks weird, because I haven't exactly gone, that's exactly how I want it to move. But if we go and swap these over, we'll get the top one down to here and the bottom one down to here. And I always swap them over just to check and then walk. That one is the correct way. That moves the hip the correct way. Because as the foot hits the ground, ideally that needs to move in a certain way for it to look correct. But there you go. That is a detail that not everyone will notice it. But when they go like, okay, they've been walking around for this one for 20 minutes, and then they swap characters to that one, and they start walking around again. It's like, well, this one feels a little stiffer, less animated, less fluid, less alive, because it doesn't have those little details. This one feels more like a anyone can make it kind of thing. Whereas the other one, this one, has a more Ooh, someone's put some details into it. So there you go. There's some details. I'm going to call it here. That's 50 minutes. Nice short one this time. I done a stream a little while ago, which was showing you the basics. You know what? Screw it. I will upload this one so you can have a play with this one as well. In fact, I'll do it right now. It is literally just a detailing of a previous one I've done. So it's nothing major. If I go quick save, character, I'm not going to call it a remix. I'm going to call it a detailing. Detail of matters. The character's name matters after the YouTube channel. You know, Stephen doesn't matter, so it's matters. So I've saved it. I'm going to back out to my usual. Say no to this. Go to it. Edit any of the stuff I need to do. So that's we'll go. It's a puppet template. Useful basic. Save that. And it's help stream set 5. Details. So just double check everything. Yeah, that all looks right. I will go release. It's going to be listed. You can click on there if you don't want it listed. I could change this to let you know what it's all about, but you don't need to. If you watch the stream, then you'll know exactly what it's all about. Release. Again, you can tick that to never have this pop up again, but I like it there, so it's, ooh, no, accidental, back out. But yes, I want to release it. So there's that released. You came right at the very end, viewer. I just, I'll quickly go in so you can see it. I literally just showed how to detail that character to make it look like that. I've done things like adding like fringes, eyelashes, changing materials, and adding like details through little sculpts just to add that little bit of make it look alive. But there you go. Before, after, it's released, details matters. I'm going to stick them all in the collection I've got. If I back out, I will delete the offline version. Yes. What I'm doing right now is deleting the version that is saved on my console. The online version is, I cannot delete that. That is there permanently. But if I come to my, where is it? That one. Help streams. Anytime I do a save like I just done, I will stick it in here. I think I've got 2 I've got to stick in. One of them is missing. I believe technically that's episode 2. No, that's episode 3 and that's episode 4. But I'm just going to label it this way so it's less confusing, because the episode 2, I didn't save the actual creation because it wasn't one particular creation, it was multiples. So it's not up there, so the next one will be a 4 and a 5 and so on and so forth. But there you go, details make all the difference, even if it's not major details, just simple things. I showed you some tricks. I didn't get any questions. Again, if you see me online on Dreams, or if you've got Dreams and you're online and you need help, live F'd me down the bottom there. Look me up. If I go into for example, if I go into here, go search, and how easier way would be if I come into go here and we'll go Dreamers. This is the easiest way to find someone. On your home there, just click up here and do a search. And if you type in live after me, it should pop up with me like that. It'll be this imp will be the icon in there. That one there is one of my other accounts. And that imp is a, if you played the early access version, you got that imp. So yeah, look me up if you need help. Throw me a message, say I'm stuck, I need help with this. I'm 90% of the time more than happy to give you a hand. For example, this one here, he threw me a message saying, am I any good at characters? So yeah, there you can see his reply. I said I'm okay, like nothing to complain about, my abilities there. He's gone cool. I suggested him check this out and I shared it with him. He's gone cool, I'll check it out. That's usually the way to work. If you want to use it, use it. If you want to use it as a guide, use it as a guide. If you don't want to use it, you just want a tip, I'm more than happy to throw you a tip. Like if you say like, do you know how to get two different skins on the one character? I did do a stream about how you can change it, like how you can change like if you want a plain blue shirt to change to a red shirt with writing on it, then I showed you how you can do that. But there you go. Gonna call it. Hope the streams are helping. Even if you watch them after the fact, if they do help, by all means let me know. If you've got dreams and they help you in dreams, by all means throw me a message saying, dude, I watched your stream and it did help. That way I know at least I'm helping someone. Because at the current moment, I have no idea whether I'm helping anyone or not. I hope I am. And if I'm not necessarily helping with your creations, if you're somebody who's thinking about getting dreams and these are helping you decide, yes, I should get it because that sounds interesting, then that's good as well. Just so long as I'm talking to myself and someone, even if it's only one person per stream, benefits in some way from the stream, I am happy. Again, you don't have to give me a like on the streams, but it is appreciated. It's the views. If I come on and I see I've had a lot of views, it's like, good, people are watching it, people are interested. If I get no views, then it's like, do I keep going? And that's kind of where I am right now on this. It's like, I don't know whether to keep going with the help streams, because I don't know whether it's helping anyone. So I'm going to keep it going, but I'm going to try and keep them, from now on, I'm going to try and keep it a little shorter. I'm going to aim for maybe half an hour streams, and I will focus on one thing. So my next stream, I might focus on, just say for example, a basic sculpt, and do it for like under half an hour. And if you prefer that, by all means, the more views I get on the shorter ones and the less I get on the longer ones, I'll continue with shorter ones. If the longer ones get more views than the shorter ones, I'll do the longer ones, and vice versa. So I'm going to call it. I will catch you all next time. You take it easy and stay safe. I will catch you next time.